Hi, Rainbow Food Explorers. I'm so glad you could come back and join me today. I'm Rainbow Janet, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's start by remembering the rainbow plate rhyme. Can you say it with me? Let's go. Rainbow plate, tell me the colors that you ate. Amazing! That was really great. What colors did you eat since I last saw you? That's fabulous. I hope you've been saying that rhyme every time you eat and always look for those amazing colors on your plate. Now, did you do some exploring since our last video? We were talking about the color red. I hope you explored lots of different red foods. And thank you to all the people who sent me your fabulous pictures and even some videos. I loved seeing them. Today, we're going to explore the color orange. I went looking in my house and I found lots of different orange foods. You can do this after the video's over and I wonder what you'll find. Before we start to look at the orange foods, let's remember, what does a Rainbow Food Explorer do? That's right. They use all of their senses to explore fabulous different foods. Do you remember all the different senses? Let's go over them together. A Rainbow Food Explorer uses their eyes to see things. We use our fingers to touch and feel them. We use our nose to smell them. We use our mouth to taste them. And we can even use our ears to hear how they sound. That's how you act as a Rainbow Food Explorer. Well, let's have a look at the orange foods that I found in my house. There were so many, but I picked these ones to show you. Let's start and see what they are. I found these bright, dark orange carrots. Oh, they made a sound. I found these little orange lentils. They were in my pantry in a jar. I also found these. Do you know what they are? They're dried apricots. Can you see one up close? And of course, I found an orange. Do you know what's so cool about an orange? Its name is the same as its color. I can't think of any other food that has that. That's pretty special. These were also in my pantry inside a can, and they are some canned peaches. So I opened the can and I put them in this bowl. And I also found these orange things. They're potato chips, and they're also very dark and orange. There are so many different things we could say about all these orange foods. Which ones would you say grew from a plant? Let's think. Yep, the carrots grew. Do you know how carrots grow? That's right. They grow under the ground. And the part that we normally eat, that we think of the orange part, is the part that grows deep, deep, deep under the ground. It's actually the root of the plant. Have you ever seen carrots growing? That's great. Do you know what part comes above the ground, the part that we see? It's from here. And it's big, tall leaves. Maybe you'll grow some carrots in your garden this spring and summer. I hope so. So carrots grow from a plant. How about lentils? They do. They don't really look like this when they're growing, but they are actually the little seeds of a plant that grows. Some of them grow in Canada and lots of other countries as well. What about the apricots? That's right. Now, these are dried, so they didn't look like this when they were growing. They looked like a round and fuzzy little orange fruit. But these were dried, and that way they keep for a long time and we can eat them. How about the orange? It also grows from a plant. It grows from a big, tall orange tree. Do you know where orange trees grow? That's right. They usually grow in warm countries. A lot of them grow in the United States in places called Florida and California, but they don't grow near where we live in Canada. And peaches, they also grow on a plant. They grow on a tree, sort of like the oranges, and they do grow near where we live in Canada. I often go peach picking in August. How about potato chips? Do they come from a plant? Well, the potatoes grow from a plant, but to get them to become chips like this, a farmer harvests the potatoes and then they go to a special factory and they get made into potato chips. Well, let's ask one more question before we really get into exploring our orange foods. Which of these foods would be crunchy? You're right. Potato chips are definitely very crunchy. And yep, I think the carrots, they would also be the crunchy ones. Well, when you get all of your orange foods, I hope you'll ask lots of questions about all of them and think about all the different ways that you could ask yourself interesting things and discover other facts about them. But I wanted to get into some serious exploring with one of the orange foods, and I think we'll explore the orange. So I'm going to move the other ones out of the way. Okay, so let's explore our orange. I'm holding it in my hands and I can feel that it's a little bit heavy, but not too heavy that I can't hold it. I can feel the shape of the orange and I can see the shape with my eyes. How would you describe the shape? That's right, it's round or a circle, or we could also call it a sphere. That's right. And I can feel with my fingers that it has a really interesting texture on the outside. This part of the orange is called, you're right, the peel. And I can feel that it feels very bumpy, or we could say that it feels rough. I can also see the very end of the orange. What does that end have? It's a little stem. That's right. That's where the orange was hanging from the tree. You're right. Let's see what's on the other end. Oh, there's a little tiny circle. This one's really small, but on some oranges, that part is much bigger. And we call that the navel. Sometimes it looks much bigger, just like your own navel or belly button even. Now, I can see with my eyes that this orange is very bright or very dark orange. It's amazing that that's the real color that just comes from nature. Amazing. Now I'm going to smell it. Oh, it smells really sweet. Do you know what I notice? I notice that when I smell things, sometimes if I close my eyes, then I really can take a deeper smell, and it really makes me focus in and really appreciate the way it smells. I'm going to do it one more time. Oh. What word could you use to describe the smell of an orange? It smells floral, like a flower. It smells sweet. It smells like an orange. What else could we see? I know, on the very end, we can even see some little lines leading into where the stem is. That's really interesting. Now, I'm going to get a knife and we'll cut this orange open and we'll see what's inside. Think about what there might be inside the orange. So I have my cutting board and I have a knife. So remember, if you have a knife that's good for children to use, that's terrific. Otherwise, maybe get your parents to help. Now, I'm going to cut my orange. Well, I could cut it this way, but I think I'm going to cut it this way. What do we think is going to be inside? Maybe. Let's find out. Listen if you can hear any sounds while I cut it. All right. Are you ready to see what's inside? What do you think it's going to look like? Wow. It's really beautiful. Take a look. What do you see? How many different colors are in there? You're right. I see white and I see orange and it even looks yellow the way the peel looks on the inside. Do you notice any pattern? What does it remind you of? It makes me think of the sun. So bright, and it almost looks like all the rays of the sun. Can you see all of those? The way that they go? Oh, that's a good idea. It also looks maybe like a wheel. And all of these lines, we could call those the spokes of the wheel. What's this part of the orange? It's called the peel. And the inside part is called the flesh. Do you see any seeds inside the orange? I don't think this one has any seeds. Some oranges do, don't they? Now I'm going to smell it again. Oh, the smell is much stronger when it's cut open. I usually notice that. What else can I notice? Well, each one of those little sections has lots of something inside. You're right. Juice. I wonder what would happen if we squeezed the orange. I have a little bowl and let's see what we can do. I'm going to squeeze it. Oh, can you see that? So much juice is coming out. I'm going to take a little sip. It's delicious. It tastes sweet and a little tangy. Did you know that that's where orange juice comes from? It comes from oranges. You can try that. Now I'm going to cut this piece of the orange in another direction. And let's see what's different. Wow, look how it looks now. So many different patterns are in there. It looks really interesting. Now, if I want to, I can open up my orange and look what happens. It separates into all these different pieces. Is it making a sound? A little bit. I'm going to take out one of the pieces with my fingers. And it looks like, what shape is it? A little triangle. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to have a taste of my orange. Here I go. This is a really yummy orange. It tastes very sweet, and I can feel lots of juice in my mouth. And it's a little bit chewy. Wow, that was really good. So we used our eyes, we used our fingers, we used our noses to smell, we definitely used our mouth to taste, and we did a little bit of listening. We can use all of our senses to become rainbow food explorers. I wonder what other things you could discover if you explored an orange or if you explored other foods that are also orange. I hope you're going to give it a try. Why don't you go on an adventure in your house and see what different things that you can find that are orange? I bet you'll find lots of them. And do the same thing. Be a rainbow food explorer and use all your senses and discover all the amazing things that you can. Now, let's remember the rainbow plate rhyme again. Ready? Can you say it with me? Rainbow plate, tell me the colors that you ate. Amazing, great job, Rainbow Food Explorer. Well, we've been going through all the colors in the rainbow together. Let's use my shirt today. We started with red, and then we looked at orange today. So the next color we're going to explore is, that's right. We're gonna come back again next week, I think Monday, and we will have another video exploring yellow foods. But let's say all the colors in the rainbow together. Ready? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Thank you so much for being Rainbow Food Explorers with me today. I loved exploring all my orange foods with you. Remember, every time you eat, look at your plate and see if you can find those colors, and then you can call your plate a rainbow plate. Let's say the rhyme together one more time. Rainbow plate, tell me the colors that you ate. That was great. Have a great day. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye, Rainbow Food Explorers.